The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem.
The horses are now nearing the starting gate.
And they're off.
As the field comes into the stretch.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Aqueduct. Cloudy skies on a chilly winter day here in the Big Apple. Main track is fast for a special President's Day 8-race card. Mandatory payout each and every day of February in the Empire 6 begins today in race number 3. And here are the changes for today's card. Early pick 5 begins in race 1, no changes. And the early pick 4 begins in race 2. We have a scratch. Take out the number 3, Mia be a star. Race number 2, scratch the 3, Mia be a star. Mandatory payout in that Empire 6 begins in race number 3. No changes in the 3rd. Late pick 5 kicks off in race number 4. There are no changes. And no changes in the 5th, the start of the late pick 4. A scratch out of race 6. Take out the 7, Grotto Swing. In race 6, scratch the number 7, Grotto Swing. Race number 7 is the 43rd running of the $100,000 Holly Hughes. Please note there'll be no show, trifecta, or superfecta wagering in race number 7. Scratch the number 3, Our Last Buck. Race 7, again, no show, try, or superfecta wagering. Scratch the number 3, Our Last Buck. And the scratch out of the finale in race 8. Take out the 4, Warden of the North. Race number 8, scratch the 4, Warden of the North. Cloudy and cool, a fast main track. Mandatory payout in the Empire 6 starts in race number 3. We'll be back with a reprise of the scratches and changes at 12:50 for a first post of 1:20. Coming up next, Greg Wolf joins me for the Monday edition of Talking Horses.
Welcome to Talking Horses. Greg Wolf, Anthony Stabile. We got to change one thing before we even get any further. You deserve top billing for this show.
I don't think so.
No, you do. So we got to get that fixed.
No.
You will be on the mic this afternoon as well.
I will.
Looking forward to hearing your voice.
That'll be fun. We'll share the Fox Sports 2 airwaves today. Lee, you're on the second half today, right?
Yes, I'll be on later. Lafitte Pingai is going to kick things off. So we're on from 1 to 5:30 today, Fox Sports 2 with America's Day at the Races. So we look forward to it. That Holly Hughes is going to be a lot of fun today, even though there's a huge scratch in that race.
Yeah, one of my favorite hour-last buck going to come out. Leaves us with a field of 4, but still a fun race. When I was doing the changes, 43rd running of the Holly Hughes. There's an outside chance, Greg, I've been here for every single one of them. I might not remember the first 2 or 3, but there's a chance. This is what my parents met on the first floor at Aqueduct. So
did they
really?
Did.
They met on the first floor at Aqueduct back in 1975. So
that's amazing.
I was literally born and raised here. So there's a good chance I've been here for every Holly Hughes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You can play all the action, of course. Want to remind everybody with Naira Bets, get signed up started. Use that promo code MATCH200 to earn up to that $200 deposit match bonus and sign up. Go to NairaBets.com. You can also download the Naira Bets app to get involved as well. And I think I'm going to be going after this probably late pick 5 this afternoon.
Sure.
There's America's Day at the Races, 1 to 5:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 2, all card long.
Yes, we get all the Aqueduct action. I think our last race is set to go for 4:55. Some fairgrounds as well, right? It was supposed to be some Southwest today, some Oaklawn Park, but they made the right decision, I believe, in canceling, and they canceled early. They canceled their races for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the way back on Wednesday. And then, in fact, the weather came in a little earlier, I think, than anybody expected down there. Had to cancel the Friday card. They moved the Southwest. Originally, it was supposed to be Saturday. Now it'll be Sunday. This Sunday coming up, the 21st, I believe that is, right? Quick math. Yesterday was
yes.
Yep, 21st. And Essential Quality and Jackie's Warrior set to take off. I'll tell you what.
Keep me in mind as well, yeah.
Keep me in mind. I'll tell you what. We didn't get to see a points race yesterday. We, of course, saw Mandaloon win the Risen Star on Saturday. We didn't get a points race yesterday, but I'll tell you, Nicky DeVest now has paired 83 buyer speed figures in the first 2 starts of his career. Absolutely romped home in the Gander yesterday. And trainer Jonathan Thomas was quoted after the race as saying, the Gotham, which is just 3 weeks away, now 19 days away, he doesn't feel like, because he had almost 60 days between his maiden win and that win in the Gander yesterday, he doesn't feel like the quick turnaround would be a hindrance to him. Thinking about coming back into Gotham, I'll tell you, my immediate thought was, wait, he already has proven he can run well, A, fresh when he won his first start, and then B, with the 60 daig. I thought they would wait for the Wood Memorial, which is just around the same time off between the maiden win and the Gander win. They're looking to go big game hunting a little earlier than expected in that Gotham.
Yeah,
on March 6th, I guess that would be.
The benefit, I guess, you're probably going to get maybe a little bit easier spot, see where you're at with that order. It looks like distance, too, is not going to be a problem at all with this horse. Son of Run Happy, by the way, Run Happy's first stakes winner, so congratulations to a sire that's starting to get it going here in his second year at stud.
Yeah, the 3-year-olds. This is why, patience is a virtue. Everybody was dismissing the Run Happies after the slower start as a 2-year-old, and now look, they're all running. I think I read that was his seventh winner this year.
He is tied as the leading second crop sire.
I remember back. I really sound like the old man when I sit up here now, but I remember back in the day. I remember when the jury was out for 3 or 4 crops for a sire. Now, 20 races in, and the court of public opinion is smashing the gavel down, guilty, guilty, guilty. I don't get it. I don't think people realize how hard it is to win a race, let alone get a sire off to a good start.
Yeah, by the way, that last year, I believe just 4 winners, and it was written on 11 second-place finishes as well. So it could have been very different.
Yeah, and we live, in that world. We live in a very weird world. It's result-driven, yet participation trophies all around. So it's very hard. How am I supposed to do this? What am I supposed to do?
But now you got this horse, first stakes winner. He looks really impressive. And then Run Classic, who just won at the fairgrounds. His second start, he stretched out around 2 turns at the fairgrounds for Brett Calhoun. He looks like he could be a promising 3-year-old as well. So starting to see some runners for this sire come around.
And Run Happy, as brilliant as he was, he had a lot of bumps in his road in the racing career. I personally, I don't think there are going to be. I'm not saying these horses are going to want to go a mile and a quarter and go to classic distances, but I don't think to just say, well, they're going to have distance limitations. I don't think that's fair. I'll tell you what, at that crop, he was one of the best horses out of that crop. I personally, I know people look at me like I'm crazy. I think you can argue he was pound for pound the most talented horse in that crop.
And looking at Nicky the Best, it looks like, and Jonathan Thomas kind of echoed that. Distance is not going to be a problem for this horse.
Certainly don't look that way yesterday.
Yeah.
He galloped.
Should we get into it?
Yes, sir.
All right, the first at Aqueduct, we're going to kick things off. $40,000 maiden claiming race. I'm so excited to hear you on the call today. 1 turn mile coming up in this race. I thought it was tough. There's 2 I like in here, but I thought Lightfoot Miss was going to be really tough, and we're going to show this race. Was in a maiden special weight last time out. Just the pure fact that she's taking the drop down into maiden claiming for the very first time. Watch the beginning here. The 7-horse. Third from the outside, gets completely squeezed here and has to drop all the way back to last against Maiden Special Weight Company. And then it's going to put in a little bit of a run, wind up 4th, beaten about 6 1/4. We had a gate to wire winner, Baba on the front end.
Yep.
Goes gate to wire, but huge class relief today.
Huge class relief. Like you said, when the gates opened, she kind of broke okay, and then they just sandwiched her and she was done. That was it. And a race that was dominated on the front end, and winner goes gate to wire. And Source made up some ground late in the game. Best hops a drop. That's what they say, right? They say it's the biggest class relief in horse racing when you go from the maiden special weight ranks to the maiden claiming ranks.
I hear that all the time, and I'm sorry, I have to take issue with that.
Do you really?
People say that all the time. Wouldn't going from a grade 1 to like a 20 claimer be a bigger drop?
Yeah, but that doesn't happen.
It could, though.
It does, right? But it might happen once a decade.
I get it.
I used to think it was hooey. I did too. And then I started working at HRRN, and you started handicapping races on a regular, consistent basis, right? Not like just being a DG on the first floor here at Aqueduct, just going screen to screen. When you're doing it professionally and you're following these races, you say to yourself, wow, these people are right. Every time these horses drop in from the special weight ranks. And look, is it that simple in here? I don't know. Maybe you have another horse dropping in Nisbet Beach who's faced special weight company twice, once at Belmont, once at Park. She comes in off of a 2.5-month break. Right, the number 1 suspended Campaign. We haven't seen her since October. She dropped in for a tag last time. So I don't know if it's that simple in here. We both landed on her. She also gets a little bit of a kitchen sink here. She gets the blinkers on. She gets the drop. The Lasix you're going to see, because the Lasix, you can't run on Lasix in New York as a 2-year-old. One of many states where that's the case now. So, yeah, I mean, the Lasix isn't as big a part as the kitchen sink as it used to be, especially with the younger horses. But it's still an addition to her repertoire. You have to take a short price on her, but I couldn't find too many other interesting places to go here.
You brought up that Linda Rice runner, too, which is intriguing, and that's Nisbet Beach. But on the rail suspended Campaign, Chad Brown. First of all, it's Chad Brown, enough said. Mm-hmm. But the only time that horse, throw out that last race is what I meant to say. That was in the slop. So it still didn't run that bad. Still drops. Ran 3rd in a maiden special in the debut at Saratoga against 5th. Risk for Pletcher, who we put in the Tepid next time out.
Yep.
So there's and that horse is absolutely going to take money. But I thought the Danger, who might be a price, I don't think you're going to get 10 to 1. That outside horse, because it looks like she broke slow in that debut. She took money. Blinkers go on, and she still was close to a pace. She could get the lead in this race. If she can get the lead, and I wanted to ask you about how you thought the track was playing yesterday, too, because we know 2 days ago, Speed couldn't lose, right?
Right. Well, we have to talk about that, right? As Andy would say, we have to address that. Again, yesterday, I think if you were able to get to the rail, it's probably, to me, and he would probably not agree with this as wholeheartedly or feel this way. More often than not, when you have a speed bias, when you have a rail bias, it tends to lean towards speed because horses go to the lead and they get over. When you have a closer's bias or an outside bias, it usually helps the closers because the closers usually make their run on the outside. It's very rare to see horses make up ground on the inside. It's just not, it's counterintuitive to take a closer to the inside. Most jockeys don't do it. I thought the rail was more important than anything else the last few days. And again, that and speed are usually going to go hand in hand, right? I mean, I think Dr. K was a good example yesterday. Dr. K was able to clear a couple of speed horses, even the rail runner, the Ralph D'Alessandro horse, he was able to clear, open up, and Dr. K was long on. Now, Dr. K ran well.
That time, too, was...
He ran well. He ran an 82
really
speed
fast
figure. He
for
ran
that
a point buyer less than Nicky DeVest did. So, I mean, he ran a big race, but those races obviously are helped by that bias where they're just getting in front, they're riding the rail, and they're just running on. I mean, the horse in the last race who finished second was a pretty big price and went to the lead, cleared, got to the rail, and was able to hold second over the other two horses that were taking money in the race. So I think it's something that you have to look at going forward. But yes, daily briefing, putting the blinkers on, second time for John Terranova. Could this horse clear today? Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if this horse cleared from the outside.
Dylan Davis aboard, who's usually pretty on it in terms of taking advantage.
He's going to have to be aggressive. He's going to have to be aggressive because everybody, if you're watching the races, you see what this bias is right now. That's not to say that overnight it didn't change, but you'd have to think that a couple of the other jocks in here are thinking the same thing. Let me get over to the rail. And obviously, you know, just from the draw, he's at the biggest disadvantage because he's in the outside stall. But he's got to be aggressive and try to get over.
All right, we'll see what happens in the opener. Race 2, this race is so difficult. 16,000 claiming race, 9 winners at 2 lifetime at 3/4 of a mile. I honestly almost felt making a selection in this race was doing a disservice. I just had no strong opinion in here. So I went to the favorite Tough Bird just because that last race, at least there was a little bit of an excuse. It was at this level where she hit the board. She did get cut off a little bit in the stretch from the 6 horse. We're going to show it to you from Meb's Web. Everyone else in this race, there's just no ability.
There's very little form to go off of in here. When you see a horse like Empress Luciana, who it took her 17 starts to break her maiden. You look at horses like Shannon's Girls, 1 for 22. Yeah, it's hard to really go. It's hard to pick anything apart in here and really try to. Even if you want to get cute in here, where are you gonna go? This horse. Broke the maiden for 30,000. Followed the game plan. When you break the maiden in a tag race, you're supposed to cut in half when you face winners for the first time. Well, I'm pretty sure a Churchill 20 is the bottom for the lifetime races for the condition claimers. Dropped in, actually got claimed out of that race by Flying P Stable, and they ran the horse on the raise here. She was not going to be able to handle the likes of Magnetique. Not that Magnetique is the next ruffian, but she's not going to handle the likes of her. Dropped in where she belongs. She caught a wet track last time. She had never run on a wet track. I thought she ran well enough where if she comes back to one of those races at Churchill Downs, 3 and 4 back, I mean, she is going to be way, way too much to handle for the rest of these fillies.
Yeah, I agree with you. And my mistake, I thought we were going to see that race.
That's okay.
We're actually not. What about, you said trying to get cute in this race, dazzling speed, blinkers going on, and this is, I know she's a 6-year-old mare who's 1 for 24. That alone right there says stay away from this horse. But you're going to get a price. And in the past, this filly, or mare now, I should say, has shown sprint speed, and there's no other speed in the race.
There's not a lot of speed in this race. No, I would imagine, Big Al's gal is going to be aggressively handled. Louis Cardenas, I'll tell you what, Louis Cardenas and Eric Cancel are 2 of the guys that I want to point out as they've been paying attention. They've been saving ground more, and they've been winning races and getting more out of these horses that they're riding by saving ground the last few days. So he's posted in post 2. The filly who was inside has no early speed. I think it would behoove Louis to just be aggressive and try and put Big Al's gal on the front end today. But you're right, Dazzling Speed has some races where she has some back speed, and even the outside horse, Elite Speed, Katie Davis is going to climb aboard. Now this horse has run twice on dirt and has not run well in either start.
That's being kind. Even.
That's being kind. But, you know, if this horse can find some of the speed from the all-weather surface races and can try and be aggressive in here, again, you see, you have to try to take every advantage you can with these bottom-level horses. The advantage right now for everyone is to get to that inside. Who can get there? Right, you're talking about horses like this, like Elite Speed, who's stuck in post 6. There is an advantage out there for everybody. Who is smart enough, who is capable to take it, that's up to them.
And yeah, at least, you know, Elite Speed, we're saying, can somehow she find the form that she had on synthetic? She hasn't shown it on dirt. It's a big if. At least with the 4, you're making some sort of change. Because there used to be speed there, now blinkers going on. Maybe it'll wake this horse up. But, I mean, she's, as we mentioned, 1 for 24, 6-year-old mare, and her recent form, her last 3 races have been atrocious.
They've been terrible.
But we'll see if the equipment change makes a difference.
Yep.
3rd race.
Empire 6, banging it out every day in February. It all must go. Me and Acacia Courtney joke around about that. It's like when you go to those stores, everything must go, and then they're 6 months later anyway. This is like everything must go. But when you come back Thursday, we have another one for you in race number 3 that starts where it all must go again. So
hey, any day could be your day. 40 maiden claiming race, 7/8 of a mile in this race. Did I stutter? I was doing that on purpose a little bit. The 1A, I think there's reasons to like this horse. We'll get into in a minute. But Bastet, I thought was way the horse to beat, just because the fact. That last race, lost the jock, doesn't even count. The only race on dirt was at this level, battled, was right there and only beat a half length.
We'll take a look at that too. This is when she ran 3rd, 2 starts back. She actually went off the lukewarm favorite. We're talking about Bastet here, who's number 8 on this day, the number 6 this afternoon. You'll see her in a 3-horse. Mama Kin's on the outside. She's going to win it. Her and Mama Kin are going to get into a little bit of a shoving match.
And she gets shut off here, by Mama Kin as well, including getting bumped really throughout the stretch.
Yeah, her uncoupled stablemate, another Belmont runner, Barrister Vixen, is going to wind up picking up the pieces for second and probably should have inherited the lead. This is a race where I thought there could have been a DQ. Not because I needed Barrister Vixen. Barrister Vixen came back on the stretch out and romped in her next start.
She went by 6 3/4 next out. 78 by her.
You'll question why the claim wasn't. Some of you have asked this about this horse and another horse that a few Fridays back, about a month ago. So a lot of the claims that get voided around here. This horse came back sound, and the fact that she lost the jock at the start would not void the claim. So the fact that she came back sound and there was nothing wrong with her after losing the jock, that's why the claim was okayed. So you've seen that already twice this winter now. So for those of you, a couple people had asked on Twitter, you'll see this. These horses, as long as they come back happy and healthy, the claim will be allowed.
And 3-1. I don't think we're going to get 3-1 here. Do you?
Well, I'm not her biggest fan today.
Okay.
She's leaving the barn of a Hall of Famer. Jeffrey Engelhardt does a great job. I start to wonder. She should have got the job done probably in that race 2 starts back against Mama Kin. You're not going to hold last time against her. But now it's a trainer change, and as well as she ran for 40, they cut her in half last time and ran for 20. Right, you have to figure the next 40 that came up, and then Barrister Vixen winds up jogging home. Maybe another chance for 40. And I understand that this horse doesn't fit into the profile of the Bill Mott barn, but they did cut her in half after a good race for 40. They ran her for 20. Could she win here? She absolutely can. I'll tell you one thing, Greg. She's going to have to find some speed, and she's going to have to try to get over. And that's not going to be the easiest task against these horses. I thought this was an interesting race today.
So who do you think gets the lead in here?
I wound up picking the favorite, Malibu Anthem, and I'll tell you the truth. I handicap these races a couple of days ahead of time. I wait to put the picks up, especially when I start to see these biases develop. I'm somebody, I have no shame in my game. I will ride hot barns. I will ride biases. I don't, I want to make money. I want to pick winners. I want to make money. So, I would have to imagine that Malibu Anthem, again, showed some speed going the mile last time. I know this was cutting back. This was in the Barrister Vixen race. I would imagine that Dylan Davis is going to try to be aggressive with her. I wound up picking the horse at 6-5. Truth of the matter is, I would not be surprised if Did Not Stutter, who you mentioned earlier, got a piece of this. Wicked Happy's another one. Romero Mirage hasn't won that many races here. It's not for a lack of talent, I can tell you that. And I'll tell you another thing. There aren't too many riders in that room that are more aggressive. Now, this horse has never had a lot of speed. She wasn't too far off of it last time. I don't imagine they're going to be going very fast in here.
No. That's why I love handicapping here. So you look at that last race, and you're gonna go with Malibu Anthem, who's a 6-5 morning line favorite here. I look at that last race when Malibu Anthem and Wicked Happy were 2nd and 3rd. I like Wicked Happy's race better than Malibu Anthem in that race.
You know what? I don't really have that big of an argument.
6 wide all the way in the backstretch, battled, and then was only ahead behind Malibu Anthem in the end.
On a fair track, I probably would have went 4-3.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming this track's not going to change too much from yesterday and Saturday, and I'm going to go with the horse that's closer to the rail and has a touch more speed. And that, unfortunately, here is the favorite.
All right. Hey, you brought up a good point, too. The barn switch claimed off a Mott. Maybe you will get at least 5-2 maybe on best stat.
Listen, the way the tracks, but if people who are betting are paying attention, I know we have some of the smartest gamblers on the planet playing our product. I'd have to imagine you're going to get all of that 3-1 that you want today.
Yeah. Fourth race starts our favorite, the late pick 5.
Yes, sir.
1 turn mile, $20,000 claiming race. I always get this wrong, so I made the only thing I want to get right today. Flowers for Lisa is a male.
Is a male.
8-year-old male. I love this horse.
That's not a woman. That's a man, baby, with a little Austin Powers for you.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got to be on the lead. If he is not in front from the very start, he has 0 chance to win. And this is the race, his last race from January the 21st. This was at 1 1/8 miles. Kendrick Carmouche hustles him from the inside. Initially didn't get to the front, finally does. If this horse can do that, he should be able to get the lead here. If he does, I think it's game over. If he doesn't, he has no chance whatsoever.
Former claiming crown jewel winner. Flowers for Lisa, taking him flag fall to that's all last time out. Going the 2 turns, cuts back to the 1 turn now. Makes his first start for training Rudy Rodriguez, who claimed him out of his last start. Look, one thing Rudy does with his horses is he utilizes their speed. You said it best. You know, I can't imagine there are too many easier horses to train and give instructions to on the backstretch at Belmont Park than Flowers for Lisa. You give Manny Franco a leg up and say, go. And that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to it. He doesn't pass horses.
Yeah.
He doesn't ordinarily pass horses.
And that's the thing. You're probably going to, if someone decides to pressure and get cute with you, you're going to have to use all you can early.
Yeah, and you
take something out of him because he has to be in front.
Creative Style has races where he's been closer. Those are paces that have, those are races with complete lack of pace. There was a version of Control Group that he and Flowers for Lisa would have put on some show on a day like this. Somebody's got to get to the, somebody wants to clear, somebody wants to get to the inside, one of them's on it. The horse that's probably just a touch faster is not on that rail. I just don't know, Greg, if that version of Control Group, I mean, he started tailing off last year, and he's shown a rare glimpse or two that Control Group may exist.
Ran huge at Saratoga, and at Belmont he ran huge with a 91 buyer.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not the same horse right now.
He's just not the same horse, you know, so. And I've always been a big believer that 2 turns has been his, I know he's won around 1 turn. Horses like him usually benefit from the 2 turns. His record, I think, dictates that. You know, the record at the mile is just 2 for 10. He's won races. He's won 12 other races at different distances. A lot of them are at 1 1/8 miles. So you would think, and like I said, you know, his speed is nowhere near what it used to be, and he's dealing with a pretty fast horse in Flowers for Lisa. So
9 of the 14 wins for Flowers for Lisa in his career, he's been alone on the lead.
Yeah.
And now, as he's progressed in age, 8-year-old now, he's got to be in front by himself. And it looks like the only thing is it's not Kendrick aboard today. Manny Franco knows the deal, though, with this horse.
yeah,
you got to
Manny Franco has to know the deal, and I mean, you just have to know the way the racetrack is playing. You just got to get to the front, and you got to clear, and that's it. And sometimes people will say easier said than done. I think he should be able to. He should have a pretty easy time of it here. He's a horse I'm going to lean on. I know he's not the most reliable type anymore, but the way the track's playing and the way this race is supposed to unfold, I'm going to lean pretty heavily on him. I'll use a little Creative Style just because I know last time, you know, I don't know what happened last time. I always have felt like he's more of a 1-turn horse, so maybe the 1 1/8 miles and the 2 turns hurt him last time. He's held his form enough, and he's been consistent enough at these bottomish levels at this point, where I would use him maybe as a little bit of a backup, but I'm going to be leaning heavily on Flowers for Lisa.
Yeah, whatever barn he's gone to, too.
Yeah.
And he's in a new barn for Wayne Potts, who claimed him last start. Disappointed a little bit, but we'll see if he can get him back on track, because, yeah, historically, he runs good for whoever he's with.
Yep.
We're going to take a pause?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. We'll be back in a moment with more Talking Horses.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
We resume talking horses with the President's Day voice of the Big A, Anthony Stabile. I'm Greg Wolf, and we pick things back up in race number 5. Starts the late pick 4.
Yep.
And intriguing race because of the presence of a first-time starter for Todd Pletcher. It's a state-bred maiden special here, 3/4 of a mile, and La Verdad.
Just a second full, right?
Yep.
Other one's by Medaglia d'Oro. This one's by Tappet, 800,000. This one did not stay home. Went to Mandy Pope's Whisper Hill Farm in partnership with Three Chimneys. 800 dimes.
Yeah, $800,000 purchase. Of course, the first one, La Verdad, the champion, 16-time winner, multiple graded stakes winner. The first one she produced, we saw on the racetrack, La Cara Mia. There were high expectations. So far to this point, 0 for 3.
Yeah.
But you would think this one here at Tappet out of La Verdad that went for $800,000 for Pletcher, it should be all systems go. You see a bullet work there as well.
You would think. Yeah, you would certainly think. I don't have the stats to back this up. I do feel, though, that these 2 turning 3-year-olds coming up from Florida for Todd Pletcher are taking a lot of money, and more often than not, in their debut especially, are not really getting the job done. She's even money on the morning line, and she is going to be, in all likelihood, shorter than that.
Yeah.
Playing pick 4s, pick 5s, you're going to use her? Absolutely. I don't want to take her as the favorite on debut. I just don't. And again, we've been talking about this a lot today, maybe talking about it too much. The way this track is playing, you know, she has to break, and I know all of them have to break, but she's a first-time starter. She's been down in Florida, right? She's never been in New York, according to the work tab. She's got to break. If she doesn't break on this track, she could be in trouble. And, you know, I know you look and you say, all right, well, Dramatic Twist, the number 1, is ran for a tag first time out, and Hip number 1, the number 4, has had some chances. Windsor Capriza first up from Dave Donk. Horses don't win first time out. You know, it's not, they run well, they don't win. And Lollygags had a bunch of chances, but she's also running into a filly in the number 2, Summer Brew, who has shown some speed in her races, is a little stakes faced. Her real only bad effort came in the slop last time out, and she's getting back to a fast track today. You know, she's going out for a top bar in Jorge Abreu. She's getting Lasix for the first time. To me, if you were picking against La Victoria, this was a no-brainer. So I took the number 2, Summer Brew.
Yeah, that's the thing. You look at the rest of this group, the 1, I can't do it just because of the jump up in class there. But Summer Brew and everyone else in here who's run, they've sort of, I guess with the exception maybe the 4, they've kind of gone backwards. And Summer Brew has too. But as you said, does get Lasix, does have some speed. But you look at the number that La Victoria is going to have to produce here to probably win, it's not that big of a number she's going to need.
It's not, but she has at least 1 horse in this race that has run well enough. I mean, you look at Summer Brew's numbers, 2 of her first 3 figures. She ran a 71 and a 68. That weird Karamoka race on Breeders' Cup weekend where Karamoka got to the lead and paid $200, and she kind of just, it was just kind of like a carousel race. Everybody just followed around. And then last time, like I said, I think you can forgive the effort. She didn't appear to handle a slop as the 8-5 favorite. Now she's getting back on dry ground. She's getting Lasix for the first time. She's got a 2-month breather after running 5 times as a 2-year-old. I think if you're looking to, and I can understand if you're not, if you're looking to bet against the favorite,
I
think it's
really wanted to beat her because I'm with you. It's a prime race to try and beat a first-time starter who's going to be enormously overbet. She might be 3-5 in here, but I'm with you. Summer Brew, if you're going to beat her, is the one to try and beat her.
If you told me to bet, if you told me to name a price, I think she'd be 3-5. And it's very tough. Listen, David's the best morning line odds. No offense to anyone. David's the best morning line odds maker in the country. It's very hard to lay a first-time starter 3-5. I don't think you can lay a first-time starter less than even money.
Yeah.
But she'll be 3-5. And you know what? If she's not 3 to 5, if she's 7 to 5 or 8 to 5, I want nothing to do with her.
That means
I
she's
want
dead on the
nothing to
board.
do with her. Yeah, she's, even money is iffy for me in this instance.
And maybe I'm completely wrong here. I'm just throwing out the question. If she were, they had a big time runner and worth that $800,000 that they purchased her for, would she be running here?
Yeah,
Right now?
she's a New York bred. I mean, look, the pot's 70,000.
Okay.
The open maiden race at Gulfstream's 50. It's an absolute positive no-brainer. Absolute positive no-brainer.
We will see. We've covered La Verdad so much.
Yeah. You want to see, when you
They
follow
recently
these horses' careers.
deceased, by the way.
Yes.
So only 2 foals. This is the other one.
When you follow these horses and you follow their careers, you want to see them go on to be good sires. In this instance, a good broodmare. And unfortunately, her life and obviously her career cut short by that. So you're just going to see La Caramia and La Victoria. You want to see these horses do well, right? The fan in you.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, we're trying to make money at the windows in here, trying to make money on our Naira Bets account. So you got to try. Listen, I'm somebody that was accused of and guilty of betting with my heart over my head plenty of times.
We all do it.
We all do it because you want to see them do well. This is an instance where this horse can absolutely win, and if this horse shows up, she's probably going to win. But I think there are a few reasons you could take a little chance with Summer Brew today.
And if she gets beat, automatically, this late pick 5.
Oh, if they both go down, yeah, it's the pick 4 and pick 5
No.
could be canasta, as we say in the neighborhood.
Could be
Canasta.
what?
Canasta. It's a card game. When you go out, you say
Yeah, yeah.
canasta. Yeah.
All right, 6th race, 6 furlongs, New York bred, entry-level allowance coming up. Bustin' Timberlake on the rail. And we're going to show it. I love the effort last time out from this 4-year-old. He was just a gutsy effort. He put away everyone he needed to put away, won the battle, and then in the end he loses the war as this horse who was outside comes and gets
The
him.
winner is last in the picture right now. The number 3 double shot's going to make up a ton of ground to run down Bustin' Timberlake, who did not have the lead for very long. He's going to grab it right here, and he's going to have the lead for just about a 16th of a mile. Double shot comes around. Double shot improved big time off of his prior effort
Never
to
saw
win
this
this
horse
race.
coming.
Never saw him coming. I mean, he ran, we say it a lot, too good to lose. He ran too good to lose last time.
So he was, hey, let me ask you this. He was outside post that day, or towards the outside. He gets a rail today. Kendrick's back on board. And this horse has tactical speed. He's going to be more aggressive today, right?
That's going to help him. Listen, you and I did not give the horse one look as far as winning. Step to the Bank is fast, the number 4. Step to the Bank. He is as quick as they come. And he will likely break, because he breaks sharp as well. He'll break, and he will clear. He's fast enough to clear Bustin' Timberlake, Leap to Glory, as fast as Leap to Glory used to be. His speed has started to elude him as well. And 9th Hour. He'll clear these horses. It, in theory, puts Bustin' Timberlake, provided everybody breaks well, in a brilliant spot. He's going to be inside, behind the horse that's going to be 25 or 30 to 1 on the lead that just broke his maiden for $25,000 in a pretty hungry field, although Apex Predator came back to break his maiden in start 23 on Saturday. I mean, he's supposed to just be in the right spot today.
And this horse is supposed to back up who's going to be in front of him, except for what we've been talking about all weekend long, how this track's been playing.
Yeah. I mean, this horse came home in 14 and change last time. But, that's, he went into prevent defense at the 3/16 pole. He was just able to coast home. And he was on fumes last time coming home. He was on fumes. But you know what? They don't care how you get there. They just want you to get to the wire first, and they pay you.
And maybe, too, he moved up, too, on a muddy track.
Well, yeah, that's always a possibility as well. That's always a possibility as well. And, let's not forget, there are some other horses in here. Like I said, Leap to Glory used to have plenty of speed. Morgantown came back from a freshening first time for Linda Rice and was like a bullet out of the gate first time. Last time out. He had every right to tire late. Now you see the last two starts with blinkers, one for Linda, one for the old connections. Blinkers come off today. Again, his problem is, you know, you don't really want to be chasing outside on this racetrack at this point. So, but he has races where he's been able to sit off the pace. Again, the problem is, based on what's happened in the last couple of days, you're going to want to save some ground to be inside, and he's going to have to get around a lot of horses to get to the inside or lose some position early. With that said, could he just follow Step to the Bank out of there? He absolutely could.
He would have been my top pick if Step to the Bank was not in the race.
Yeah. I feel like the way the track's been, if Step to the Bank wasn't in here, Kendrick would have been aggressive with Bustin' Timberlake and just tried to blast him off. He still might. If it were me, I would just let Step to the Bank go and take my chances that he comes back to me a little bit. But yeah, Morgantown would be the other horse I would want to use in here because, you know, maybe he's the first one to inherit Step to the Bank should he start to back up and get over.
So we're looking at likely Step to the Bank in front. We expect him to back up. Morgantown sitting maybe just behind, and then
I'd imagine it's a 4-6-1 going to the half-mile pole.
But you like Bustin' Timberlake on top.
I do. I think Bustin' Timberlake's going to work out the right trick behind the speed.
And how short a price is he going to be?
You know, that's a good question. I saw the morning line this morning. I said that's probably the right line. If the field stays together.
2-to-1 morning line.
Yeah, Grotto swing coming out doesn't really change things much. He'll probably be 8-5. I think it'd be a little bit lower than the morning line.
Yeah, just with Kendrick aboard too.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit shorter, but not that far off.
By the way, the horse who came and got him in that race we showed you, Eric Cancel. Cancel 4 wins yesterday.
Yeah.
You mentioned him as one of the riders that has probably most been paying attention to and taking advantage of the way this track's been playing, but he's been riding great of late.
Yeah, him and Louis Cardenas really they've been paying a lot of attention. A lot of attention. They're in the right spot.
Ready for the feature?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Holly Hughes, it is a good one. 6 furlongs, $100,000 purse, massive scratch in here. It's too bad because our last buck, it would have been fun to see what he could do going shorter at 6 furlongs. He comes out though as he was trying to win 3 in a row. Where do you wind up?
He was been going short and been taking on some fast horses, including Tribeca. And here's Tribeca all the way back in June on our reopening week here in New York for racing.
And I wanted to show this because he faced Amundsen in here.
He did.
Who's the other speed? Look who gets to the lead.
Yep.
With no problem.
Yeah, he is, you know, Tribeca's an old war horse around here. He's won 1/3 of his 40 starts. I actually have a win picture with Tribeca from about 3 winters ago. A friend of mine used to own him with Rudy. And here, you know, takes the lead, like you said, against Amundsen, who's going to be the other speed in here. Amundsen's outside chasing him down, trying to chase him down anyway. Tribeca in 2019 and 20 won 9 of his 17 starts. Last time out, he tried to fall high weight. He fought every step of the way.
That was a tough group, too.
Tough, you know, share the ride and stand the man. He got beat a length that time. I think Chris Englehart realized, you know, time for a little bit of a spell, give him a little bit of a rest after a couple of good campaigns. Gave him the rest. He comes back now. Very fortunate to draw the rail the way the racetrack's been with his speed. Like you've said, I mean, he's already dealt with his main pace rival in here, and he kind of toyed with him when he had to deal with him on the front end. Catch me if you can. Kendrick chose to ride our last buck, and I kind of get that. You know, hadn't seen Tribeca in a couple of months. Our last buck was, you know, the informed horse. He had the recency. It's unfortunate that he has to come out of here. You know, but you have to think, I mean, again, and we're assuming this track's going to play the same way. If this track's the same, he was really up against it, not only cutting back the
it's too bad. I like Tribeca even with him in here.
Me too. I did too. I did too.
And now as a result of him coming out, with Tribeca, with his speed, and being on the rail, he'll probably be what, 7-5?
Yeah, I mean, I would find it hard. And you know, the problem with getting a price on him is Amundsen hasn't run now in almost 7 months. And when he went to the bench, he was coming off, the race against Thornton Hill was probably the best race of his career when he was second a couple of starts back. That effort last time out was just awful. in the Morrissey when he was beaten by Funny Guy and the rest. I mean, he was done at the half-mile pole.
Yeah.
So obviously something went amiss. We didn't see him for a while. It wasn't the first time he had a big break in his form. He had a 5-month break back from in January to June of 2019. You know, he's taken these rests before.
And the most
He's going to be chasing, he's going to be chasing Tribeca around there. It's not the place you really want to be in life. I mean, certainly hasn't been the place 13 or 40 times they've tried to do it with Tribeca.
Yeah, I love that. Tribeca, that record, I love it. He's such a war. 13-time winners, you mentioned, over 600 grand. A stat, too, that we're probably going to say on the show that means absolutely nothing and is the most overrated stat in all of sports. The defending champ of the race is Amundsen. Who cares?
Right, yeah. I mean, when he won this race last year, he upset it at a big price. Paid $32 that day.
And my last question, I think I'm all in on Tribeca here, but what happened to my boy Tate the last couple of starts?
I just think he lost his form. You know, I don't think. See, I think that Parks race really. That was all smoke and mirrors to me. And then even the next time, I didn't think he ran that well against Funny Guy. I didn't like that race. Period.
Why don't you think he ran well?
I thought he kind of worked out the right trip. I mean, it didn't go that fast. He kind of sat off the pace. He made the lead, and he got beat. He had a much better trip than Funny Guy that day. And Funny Guy still came and got him. So I've been betting against this horse for the last year. And I've done pretty well betting against this horse for the last year or so. Yeah, there was, another one, a version of him that would be a big contender in here. That horse doesn't exist anymore.
See how it plays out.
He's 7 now, Greg. We all got a little gray in the beard. I'm sure he's got a little gray in the mane at this point.
I got a few grays going on here. This is the old man race, right? There's a lot of older horses in this spot.
7, 6, 7, and the young buck, Admondson's 5.
Yeah, the vets. Finale on the card. 25,000 claiming race. Non-winners at 2 lifetime. 6 furlong sprint coming up, and there is a storm brewing on the rail.
Talk about a drop in class.
Last time out. Yeah.
Last 2. His last 2 starts.
And this
Lakes.
was Finger Lakes in August on the 25th, and I thought we needed to show this because this is how he needs to run today. He needs to be aggressive. We know Jorge Vargas is aggressive, but he's got the inside. Take advantage, get to the lead. He could be alone in front.
Yeah, he's supposed to be, unless Mucho Sunshine and Romero Mirage, not Rajiv. Rajiv's in Florida. He's not riding today. Yeah, he's supposed to. And Jorge Vargas, we've talked about how well he's ridden here this winter, and his biggest asset is his aggression. He does not let too many of them fall asleep coming out of there or fall asleep on the front end. This horse will be aggressively ridden. I mean, you look at the horses he faced in his last 2. Man, it's like graded stakes horses compared to this field he's facing
he's
today.
22-1 last start.
Yeah.
He'll be the horse to beat here. I guess I thought the big danger to him, and I mean, you brought up Mucho Sunshine, who could try and pressure him on the front end. That's a concern. But Big Boy Mo, second off a bit of a layoff here, just ran 3rd at this level last time out. I thought he was the other horse.
Yeah, I mean, he makes a lot of sense, I think. Cool Boy makes sense. He's getting a pair of blinkers. Cool Boy used to be a horse who had a ton of speed. His speed's kind of left him, but he's bounced around these ranks. He's the horse I fell in love with off a trip 3 starts back. He did not run back to that trip both times. Did find it interesting, though, that Chris Engelhardt claimed them back. And he took him back from Rudy on the race, 2 starts back. He ran him back last time. He just didn't fire in the Forest field on the wet track. He gets back to fast ground today. He'd be the other one for me, but I couldn't argue with Big Boy Mo. I couldn't argue for people that like Mucho Sunshine. Listen, he might be the horse. I don't want to say in a speed duel, but he's probably the 2nd fastest horse out of the gate in the race. And you want horses, I'll tell you what, you want horses forward and you want horses that are inside. He'll be at the very least one of those 2. He'll be forward, and if the one doesn't break, he'll probably find himself on the lead today.
Yeah, if you of those 2, I just got to go with the more experienced horse who's run better. He ran against 40 non-winners at 2, and he ran very good.
Yeah.
When he was running kind of against his running style that day too.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to have everything his own way today.
You're going to crush multiple times, or you're going to play just a bigger ticket?
I mean, this looks like I don't ordinarily play with him in the booth.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of a chalky sequence today. So even in the races where we have thoughts against a favorite, for me, it's the second choice. Frank Maramati loves the fact I used to carry a towel around because I sweat a lot.
Like Jerry Tarkanian.
Like Jerry Tarkanian.
Did you suck on the towel?
No, I never bit it or anything. I just would wipe my brow. Today I would have that towel to wipe all the chalk off my face. But like I said, I don't really play too much when I'm upstairs. So.
Okay. Well, it's going to be a pleasure again. The Big A on the mic this afternoon on this President's Day coverage. Looking forward to hearing you, and we'll be on the show together. America's Day at the Races, 1 to 5:30 Eastern Time, Fox Sports 2. I love doing this with you. I enjoy it.
This will be fun. I like when you sit in. And of course,
Thank
you
you.
can play along with us. The only place you can do it. There's your Fred Hooper winner, performer. We need a new. I think we need to get risk taking on there. I think
That'd
we need
be
to get
good.
risk taking on there. So yeah, match $200 over at NairaBets.com, and like you said, Greg, tell them where they can watch this today.
FS2, 1 p.m. start time until 5:30. I'll be on later this afternoon. Lapeet Pinkai going to kick things off in just about 15 minutes.
Yep.
We'll see you then.
I'm not getting upstairs in that time, so I'll do the changes from here, and then I'll mosey upstairs for the first.
I went on too long. Sorry.
When we wrap, no, we got plenty of time. I had no chance. No, that could have said 37, 38. I wasn't taking chances getting upstairs before 30, so we'll be here. This was fun.
Yeah,
we'll do it
enjoyed
again
it.
soon. I think we'll do it in a couple of weeks.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good luck today.
You too.
Appreciate it.
Hit them hard. Hit them straight and hit them hard. We'll see you later.